That black housing on a Ford 6.7 valve cover. The element inside, saturated. When this engine was built, an IQA sticker was placed on that housing. If it's still there, that filter has never been changed. One owner traced an oil slick to a $100 part. Another paid for dealer reseals before anyone checked ventilation. The schedule never says replace, and there is a 10-second check, hood open, no tools, that tells you whether yours has ever been changed. 3 unresolved clues point to a maintenance gap. One owner's published account describes discovering a sudden parking lot oil slick, pointing to a saturated separator. A separate unverified account details a dealership performing repeated upper oil pan reseals before anyone inspected the ventilation loop. Then there is the factory documentation itself. The official maintenance schedules lack an explicit instruction to discard and replace the element. Not replace. Inspect. You are left to guess when the system is restricted, and there is a 10-second check, hood open, no tools, that tells you whether yours has ever been changed. You already know the routine maintenance by heart. You change your engine oil. You swap your air filter. You replace your fuel filters, and you drain the diesel water separator. 4 familiar systems. 4 tasks you track on a notepad or a dashboard screen. You do them because you know exactly what happens if you neglect them. But there is a 5th system on your truck. To understand why this 5th system matters, you have to look at what happens inside the cylinders. Every time a cylinder fires, immense pressure pushes the piston down, but no piston ring seals perfectly. Some of that high-pressure combustion gas forces its way past the piston rings and escapes down into the crankcase. This is blow-by. According to engine service manuals, this escaping gas does not travel alone. It carries unburned fuel, moisture, and a fine, pressurized mist of engine oil. It enters the lower part of the engine under pressure. Before the year 2007, dealing with blow-by was simple. Manufacturers used an open tube, a road draft tube. The system simply vented those pressurized gases and oil mist straight down onto the asphalt. There was no filter in the path, nothing to restrict the flow, nothing to clog. But the Environmental Protection Agency changed the rules for the 2007 model year. The federal mandate required closed crankcase ventilation. Under these rules, those emissions cannot escape into the open air. Instead, the system must route the gases back into the engine intake to be burned. But you cannot dump raw oil mist directly into a turbocharger. So manufacturers added a filter to strip the oil out of the gas stream before it enters the intake. This is where the hardware lives on your truck. If you drive a Cummins 6.7 ISB, the manufacturer mounts the CCV filter directly on top of the valve cover assembly. You will find it sitting under a black plastic cover. It is secured by 4 8mm bolts. Inside is a serviceable, rectangular filter element designed to trap that oil aerosol. If you drive a Ford 6.7, the setup looks different. Ford mounts a large black housing on the passenger side valve cover. This housing is explicitly labeled oil separator. Inside this plastic housing is the element designed to capture that oil mist. Whether your system is serviceable with a simple cartridge swap or requires replacing the entire plastic housing depends entirely on your model year. But regardless of the design, the physical job is identical. The filter must trap the oil, let the clean gas pass through, and drain the collected oil back down into the oil pan. It works under constant heat, constant pressure, and constant exposure to soot and vapor. Over tens of thousands of miles, the filter media does its job. It captures the oil, then it holds the oil, until it cannot hold anymore. Fine, so it clogs. Here is what that does to a truck. The synthetic fibers saturate. The vapor path restricts. The pressure inside the engine crankcase begins to rise, searching for the weakest gasket. The engine keeps running, unaware that its breathing system is completely choked off. Fine, so it clogs. Here is what that does to a truck. That 10-second no tools check under the hood is still waiting. We will get to it shortly. But before you look at your own engine, you must see the sequence of how this blockage turns into a major repair. Slight oil at the vent tube might be completely normal, but when your engine oil consumption rises from about half a quart per 3,000 miles to 1 quart per 3,000 miles, the system is warning you. If you open the housing and find dark, swollen filter material with liquid oil pooled inside, the media is saturated. The escaping gas now carries raw oil mist directly into your intake, leaving it completely oil-soaked. The rising crankcase pressure has to escape. First, a front crankshaft seal seep, then a rear main leak. In extreme cases, the pressure builds until it literally pushes the dipstick straight out of its tube. If you keep driving, the turbocharger compressor seals are next. Independent diesel specialists report that turbocharger symptoms typically appear when the filter is already 2 to 3 service intervals overdue. 2 published owner accounts, though explicitly unverified, show the financial scale of this mechanical cascade. The first owner's published account describes a 2017 F-250 that left a massive oil slick in a parking lot at 72,000 miles. The owner had never even heard of a clogged crankcase ventilation filter. The replacement filter cost just $111. But that wasn't the expensive part. The total engine repair bill was $2,800. That simple filter was only 4% of the total cost. The second owner's published account details a 2017 Powerstroke that suffered an upper oil pan gasket failure due to a clogged ventilation loop. The dealer performed repeated upper oil pan reseals before anyone realized the crankcase was pressurized. Repairing the seal required removing the transmission. So why is the factory maintenance guidance for this critical filter so inconsistent? The Cummins factory service manual lists a clear interval for its 6.7 SB engine. The manufacturer's official schedule requires you to replace the crankcase ventilation filter at exactly 67,500 miles. It is a single documented number, but this specific Cummins interval does not automatically apply to other diesel designs on the road. When you look at the official service documentation for a Ford 6.7 Powerstroke, that clarity disappears. The published sources disagree. You are left with conflicting numbers. Ford's official maintenance guidance is explicitly disputed. First, standard online service information providers list a replacement interval of 67,500 miles for normal duty trucks. For severe duty use, those same service sources lower that figure to 45,000 miles. But a reported Ford owner's guide entry for 2017 and newer trucks with a serviceable element lists 100,000 miles or 4,000 engine hours. Yet, inside that exact same owner's guide, the owner reported wording in the maintenance schedule says, "Crankcase ventilation filter, inspect," with no normal duty replacement interval specified. Further complicating the record, one owner quoted a Ford technician who stated there is no scheduled plan at all. At the other end of the spectrum, independent diesel specialists recommend replacing the filter every 30 to 40,000 miles, regardless of duty cycle. The sources plainly disagree. This documentary will not select which source is correct. We are presenting the documents exactly as they are written. You are left to navigate the contradictions. But there is one quick way to verify what has actually been done to your specific truck. Instead of relying on a generalized internet interval, your own specific truck manual is the final authority. The sources disagree, and the contradiction remains. The engine in your driveway dictates the hardware. If you run a GM Duramax, the component is called a CDR valve. The supplied Duramax service literature lists no published replacement interval for this valve. If you run a Cummins 6.7, the engine uses a dedicated crankcase pressure sensor to monitor restriction. But according to Ford service literature, the Ford 6.7 Powerstroke has no factory-installed crankcase pressure sensor. Understanding your specific hardware status is the prerequisite before you can apply any Ford guidance. If you do the work yourself, guides list the parts between $80 and $135. The job takes under 1 hour. If you hire a professional, independent shop guides show a typical charge of $300 to $500. But when pressure destroys the seals, owner-reported estimates reach around $3,000 for rear main seal or oil pan resealing, because the work requires transmission removal. There is no evidence of intentional concealment by Ford or repair shops. It is a gap in a maintenance document, creating a one-way incentive. Low-value preventive work produces a small invoice, while extensive leak repairs produce a large one, which brings us back to that deferred 10-second check under the hood. Pop your hood. Look at the plastic oil separator housing. Ford applies an Injector IQ, a programming code sticker to this housing during engine assembly. If that sticker is still there, your filter has likely never been changed. A healthy element is dry and light-colored. A failing one is dark, wet, and swollen with oil pooled inside. But not every Super Duty is serviceable. Owners report 3 hardware generations from 2011 through 2024. They report sealed assemblies from 2011 through 2015, and again from 2020 through 2024. Only the intervening years reportedly use the serviceable element. Some owners report dualies got serviceable filters, while single rear-wheel trucks got sealed boxes. According to Ford TSB 19-2142, a blocked filter type assembly can set code P04DB. Identify your hardware first. Do not dismantle a sealed box or delete the system. Go look for that sticker, then read what your own manual actually says, because it is not the same on every one of these. Drop your year, your engine, and what your manual says below. Somebody reading those comments is about to save themselves a very expensive week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. If this is what you want to know before a shop tells you, hit subscribe. Today, the silence in the maintenance manuals remains. As these workhorse trucks age, the burden of preventive care falls entirely on the owner. A simple physical check under the hood represents the line between routine ownership and an avoidable multi-$1,000 repair.